You have these currencies called Huntsman Mementos, which you get from clearing Boss Rush, and if you're new, you'll have a bunch of first clear achievements that you'll be able to get a whole bunch from. Now you get these based off of your points, and yes, I can comfortably reach 650,000, right? It's easy, however, I just don't care enough. It's so boring, and I don't have much need for the Boss Rush shop. However, as a new player, it's going to provide you with invaluable resources, right? Starting ranging from legendary awakening stones, a boatload of them, to a absolute boatload of princess edicts. Two vital resources early on for awakening your heroes and getting all the merches you need. Right, and it doesn't end there. You can buy early sharpshooters and golden pocket watches for super cheap. They're 5 Huntsman Mementos each. So yeah, they're wicked cheap, and you can get them and use them. You can even use them for limit breaking. However, early on, I recommend you to not limit break if you don't have one limit broken. Do limit break it, but if you already have one copy limit broken, hold on to at least 1 or 2 copies, because once you start trying to farm Boss Rush a bit more, you're gonna need more of these copies. Now, what is Boss Rush? Boss Rush is essentially mini raids with its own mechanic. So you have early stage where the bosses just get stronger bit by bit by bit. And on the final stage, you have multiple options called trial settings, which you can put trials on to increase the amount of points you get. As you can see, the score for killing the boss is 85 million, and the stage score is 45 million, and you get additional points for clearing it within a specific amount of times. But time isn't going to be the biggest point increase. It's going to be the base points and the applied trials. So you have trials such as, critical injury, team takes more damage, defense increase for the party leader, you get followed around by a cannon, you get followed around by a laser beam, right? You have all of these, and it's really cool. I was experimenting with a whole bunch of these, seeing which ones you can stack, and yeah, you essentially stack them and you get more bonus points. However, that's only for the final stage. All the stages before that are just kill the boss as fast as you can. That's really it. So as a new player, you're not going to be able to do stage 9, level 90 pretty much ever. It's going to take you some time to get there, because it's going to take a relatively decent team, like leveled up with some nice gear, fully limit broken, to be able to clear this one comfortably. So yeah, I think early on your main focuses should be 70, because you can clear 70 pretty comfortably across multiple stages. And here's why. If you can clear 80, that's really nice, because one team on 80 is going to be better than 3 teams on 70, I believe. So do keep that in mind. Let's begin with how you should go about clearing this one out, okay? Simply focus on making more teams. That's it. That's literally it. Here's how you're going to begin, okay? You're going to, of course, start out with one main team. That's going to be what you use to clear story. And if you're new and have no idea on how to do that, please watch my other guides. I have a whole bunch of guides that are going to be super helpful for this. So let's begin. While farming for these, unique heroes evolution stones, you're going to get a whole bunch of rare ones. And of course, early on, you're going to be like, oh, well, man, I want to use these unique heroes. I don't give a crap about these rare heroes. They're probably trash anyway. And technically, in the long run, they do fall behind unique heroes, right? No surprise. However, some manage to stay, competitive, such as Craig, Ascended Elvira, and Ascended Karina. However, they're more so just good because they're ascended, not just because of their base forms. Craig is actually still really good in his base form. Let's begin. You're going to farm, let's say, for Kamel. This way you're going to get Craig fully max evolved, and you're going to have additional stones that are going to go across other characters. Now, Boss Rush isn't about full damage early on, because you're not going to have the raw stats and healing to tank it. You're going to need a pseudo healer / buffer. It's why I actually recommend Sia for a lot of new players, because she's going to provide the amount of healing you need for your party to tank Boss Rush trials and everything, while still providing a nice damage increase. So yeah, what you're going to end up having to use is, for example, someone like Aoba. She'll give you earth attack, so you'll be getting at least some offensiveness out of it, and you can mix it with other characters like, for example, Mayriel to get a really solid earth team. And you're not going to want a tank here. It's just not optimal. Unless you're running Gun Agma, a tank here is going to be super suboptimal, because it's going to take away a lot from your DPS. So do be aware of that. And you can literally just splash across 1 or 2 rare heroes for a better time and easier team building, right? For example, with basic, let's say you're running Yunha. Yunha with Knight is actually really, really nice. They work great together in synergy, so that's another rare hero you can just splash and makes building the team easier. In Darks, you can just slash in Karina. You could even use Amy for the time being, right? And if you're doing melee Darks and you don't have a lot of options for teams and you want to spread some of your characters out, you could even use Shapira for her melee party buff. And yeah, you will eventually, phase these characters out. However, early on, they can be really nice as filler slots because they'll at least contribute something to the team while not, being completely dead weight as, random unique heroes, right? Like, for example, Yunha with Knight will do infinitely better than, for example, if you slap Yunha with, MK2, right? And while, yes, MK2 is a unique hero, it's just completely trash synergy with Yunha, and it's a case where a rare hero is going to be better than a unique hero, and that's just the basics of boss rush building, so it's nothing complicated. You can check out raid teams, just focus on maximum DPS while getting some sustain at least on your team, and that's really going to be mostly all that you need. So let's actually begin on how boss rush works. It's as simple as you'd expect. It's literally where you fight a single boss. I'm just going to demonstrate this on a low stage, and if you can, please pay attention to the elements. Duncan is a fire element boss, which means I would absolutely not be using an earth team here. I would be using something like a water team. I would also not be using Craig or Rue. This is a Coliseum team, not a boss rush or DPS meter team. So yes, there are definitely better teams for content like this. This is just an example I'm showing you. That's how it's gonna play out. You literally just dodge the boss skills as much as you can and DPS the boss down. That's it. If you want to see a more well-established team, let me demonstrate it to you right here as soon as this finished. So for example, a slightly better team, and as you can see, we got a score of 17.8 million. Now, it's not going to show up here yet because we haven't suspended or cleared the challenge yet. As you can see, you'd clear all these out as much as you can. And yeah, this is where you'd use an earth team against Harvester because it's a water boss, and you wouldn't use this team because it has a tank and Rue, who isn't the best DPS characters. This is a team that you would use against Harvester. It's where you all have full earth damage, it's a full DPS based team, and it's where you'd get the best performance. So do pay attention to that. Specific seasons have different rules, like where a certain element gets additional attack. So this season it's basics. Your basic heroes are going to be doing a lot more damage, and you can take advantage of that by going on stages where your heroes will have advantages, such as for example here, and maximize your basic attack usage, and where you could easily get away with a weaker team and clear a higher stage because of all the bonuses you're going to be getting from the elemental bonus and just the special season bonus. So that's really it. Early on, you're going to get a whole bunch of missions that are going to make buying your first purchase is easier, but they're going to go away eventually. And so yeah, if you want to see a more in-depth version, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next one.